Hi everyone and welcome to my new video. Hope you liked the previous video on my channel, and I'm thankful for all the subscribers, old and new. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, and please press that bell icon so you can get notified when my videos are live. Um, This is actually something I wanted to talk with you about that I've never talked about it before. Not even I don't think I ever talked about this kind of subjects ever before. Um, but first of all, you know that my book is available on Amazon as a Kindle edition. I'm working on a paperback edition too, so I'm hoping it will get in print really soon. But for now, thanks everyone for getting the Kindle edition of my book to you, His Side of the Story. You can get it on Amazon sites around the world. And thank you for all the kind reviews and your comments and messages. I'm reading them all, and I'm so grateful about it. So, this is something I wanted to talk with you about that as I said, I've never spoke about it. I don't think ever, and I don't think anyone knows that besides my parents or maybe a friend or two. So, um, this was like a few years ago. I was back in my hometown. I returned from Milan. I was living in Milan, living as a model, working as a model. Um, I returned home, and kind of was at the lowest point of my life. Nothing was really working out, and I had so many goals and so many dreams, and none of them were, coming true. It's just things weren't working for me, and to say at least. Um, and yeah, it was pretty low point for me. As much as I wanted something, as much as I tried, as much as I was as much as I was really into something and working on something, it just didn't work for me, and nothing really did work for me. At least that's what I thought at that time. So this happened one night. I went for a run or a workout. I don't really remember. I think it was a run. I came home, got myself a dinner, shower, bed, basically the same routine I had when I was home. And in the middle of the night, I was awakened by I couldn't get myself to breathe. I had my breath was really short, and I couldn't breathe. Basically, I was when I cannot even describe it to you. It was that moment of when you literally cannot breathe. So I remember, and the worst thing about it, it happened in the middle of the night. So I literally wasn't aware of what is going on, basically. So I got myself up, and I remember I had really, I don't know, like literally my whole body is was basically so, I don't even know the word to use. It's just like my body stopped listening to me. I couldn't even walk, basically. Somehow I got to my balcony, and I opened the door, and got some fresh air, and I'm still was breathing so hard, and what I remember is that like my sight was really foggy, and my head hurt, and I had such a chest pain, and my heart was beating so loud. That is the thing I still remember like it was yesterday. Like literally, my heart was beating so loud. I could have heard it basically all over my body. It's I've never heard my heart beating so loud ever in my life, you know. Um, so that kind of state lasted for, I don't know, a few minutes, and then it stopped by itself. Slowly it was, you know, my body was calming down by itself, but it was an unpleasant state of being in. It was definitely um, not something I would like to experience again. Next morning, I went to my doctor to see what it was, and my blood pressure was really high. And I remember doing some, I don't know, I did some, I don't know, scans, or how do you call that? I researched it or something, whatever. But eventually we found out that I was fine, which I knew from the beginning. I was fine. I didn't think I was sick or anything. I just knew that something is going on. Well, you know, deep inside of me, I knew what was going on, because, as I said, it wasn't the prettiest time of my life. I wasn't the happiest, to say the least. And I knew it was based basically on something that was going on in my head, rather than some physical illness or something. Well, I always think that everything is in your head, that all the physical illness starts with your head, with your thoughts too. So yeah, so I initially knew from the basically beginning that this was some kind of a panic attack, although at first it seems like a heart attack. But I mean, I never experienced a heart attack. Hopefully I never will, but like, all the symptoms were like, you know, when it started, I thought of it as a heart attack. But later, as it was going on, and when I went to, you know, search about it, what it could be, I realized that this was just, well, not just, anyone who has experienced a panic attack, it wasn't just. It was a panic attack, a pretty big one. Although small or big ones doesn't really matter, because panic attack is a panic attack, and it's just not, definitely it's not pretty. It's not something you want to experience again, and fortunately I've never experienced that again, because when I learned about it, when I learned about my state that I was in, when I learned how to prevent it, when I learned about all the, you know, why is it happening and stuff like that, I got really on point of my thoughts, of everything that was going around me. So I was pretty aware of it, and of the ways that I can stop it or prevent it. You know, later you also can get even a fear of having a panic attack again. And that is something also that can be happening. As I said, I didn't have any fear of then happening again. I wasn't having any panic attacks again. But why am I telling you all of this? Because I think people, well, precisely men, don't talk about it as much as they should, because it is something that is happening a lot. It is something that is happening so often, and I think I'm pretty right when I say that a very huge majority of men had some kind of panic attack, were anxious, or you know, it's just something that all of us learn to live with it, and it's a good thing. Well, not really a good thing, but let's say the good thing about it is when we talk about it. You know, then it gets easier when we acknowledge those things, and that they are happening. You know, especially nowadays, we people tend to show only things that are pretty. We tend to show and things that are, just pretty sides when we are at the best of in our lives, when everything is going right, when everything is, peachy and perfect. And but the thing is we don't talk about those things when things are, less than perfect, which are maybe the majority of time. We don't not that we don't even talk about it, we try to ignore it. And when you ignore something, then it just gets heavy and heavy. It just keeps loading and loading and loading until something happens, something as a panic attack. So that was kind of my purpose of my videos. So um, to try to make everyone aware of what a panic attack is, or what that is normal, that is completely normal to talk about it, that is completely normal to be open about it, even when, I don't know, maybe society is making us men look like, soft, maybe, if we talk about our emotions, or are open about this kind of things. But I don't think that you are that it makes you any kind of suffer because you talk about those things. I actually think quite the opposite. I find those men who talk about those things very, very, very tough. It's that's what makes you a person. That's what makes you a man. When you talk about those things that everyone kind of keeps quiet about, and when you are supposed to be quiet about, you're not. You just talk about it. You're open about it, and that's what I want you to, I don't know, maybe learn from this video, that it's perfectly okay to go through some things in life, but it's also perfectly okay to talk about those things. Do not keep those things inside of ourselves, inside of our heads, because when we don't talk about things get heavy, and it's definitely not a pretty place to be when things gets heavy, when we cannot see clearly what is going on, because it doesn't have to be that way. Those things doesn't have to be heavy, especially when looking at something from some angle that is kind of foggy, and we kind of feel like we have weight around our neck, on our shoulders, but it doesn't have to be like that, because when you are open, when you try to approach to those things with an open mind, with a clear mind, you kind of get pretty different sight about those things. You kind of get a pretty different approach, so nothing is as bad as it seems to be, and it's definitely because of, I don't know, because if we are not in the best place to be at currently in our lives, when things are maybe going our ways, it doesn't mean that things won't get better. It's now I can talk about it, because now I can see at the phase that I was going to back then, that I learned a lot from it. I learned quite a lot. I learned of who I am. I learned of what I'm capable of. I learned of that I'm bigger than that I can fight that I can prevent that that I'm perfectly fine going through whatever that I'm going through, and that I'm perfectly fine talking about it. And it's not something to be ashamed about it. It's actually something that we need to speak loudly about it. Either with ourselves, either with our parents, our friends, our significant one, whoever that is, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever you have, or even just to yourself. You know, I do speak a lot to myself, to be honest, literally every single day for quite a lot. And it's a healthy thing to do. It's a healthy thing to do. What is unhealthy is when you store those things in your head, in your memory, and when those things gets heavy. And you know, when things gets heavy, when your storage in your head gets full, it's tough to think from that place. It's tough to live from that place, and it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. So let's say my point with this video would be, just talk about it. Just talk about it. Just be open about it. The thing is, we are all humans. We are all going through the same things, and you are not a less man if you talk about those things. As a matter of fact, you are much more man when you speak about those things. So be open about it. Whatever bothers you, be open about it with yourself, with your friends, with your family, and I don't know, girls, women who are following me. Speak to your, I don't know, boyfriends, husbands, father, brother, friends, whoever you have, you know. Speak to them and talk to them, and kind of let them open to you. You know, us guys are kind of made that way, that you know, we are hard to crack, we are hard to open. But when we are open, we're pretty easy to talk to. And do your best to open the men in your life, like, you know, just to talk to them, and just for them to be able to talk with you, because after all, it can save lives. You know, it's never just about the panic attacks. It's about what those panic attacks are and what is coming after. So I think it's a good thing that we can prevent those things. Just be open and don't be afraid to talk with anyone. If you don't have anyone, reach out for me, reach out. You know, my social networks, you know, my everything. And if you don't have anyone to talk to, just talk about it. Don't be afraid, don't be scared. Just don't let those things get heavy, because they don't need to be heavy, you know. They don't need to be heavy. So yeah, that was the point of my video. Of course, you can work on yourself. I learned a lot about meditation, affirmations, and stuff like that. I'm gonna talk about it in maybe some of my next videos, but my main point of this video was like, just be open about it, just talk about it, whatever that is in your head. It's normal. We are all going through same things, and you know, you're not alone. I was there. I know how it feels. Yeah, and I know you can overcome that. I am so sure about it, because I did overcome those things. Yeah, that was it. We'll talk about it, about something else, I guess, in the next video too. A new subject, something different than this, but this was really important for me to, you know, to get it out of my head, because it's something that I've been thinking about for quite a while, a whole year actually, to record this. But yeah, it's not something that even I talk about mostly, but yeah, it's a good thing to get those things out, you know. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. This is my English channel. I also have a Croatian one. And my social networks go with Pelić. They're all verified with the blue tick, my Instagram and Facebook profile. Be aware of the fake profiles. I have a lot of them, unfortunately. And yeah, my book is on Amazon, and also the link is in the description. That's about it. Thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend, and yeah, thanks for being with me.